I'm Literary Freak 11, and today I am going to do another journey through the multiverse of my mind. Today's card looks like this, and the word that went with it is pedantic, so it's kind of like shallow, narrow-minded, obsessed with small details, generally related to scholarly stuff. However, I ended up kind of turning it more tactically. Anyway, you'll see. So, the empty window frames mirrored the skeletal spokes of the street lamps, their lamplighters gone. The general surveyed the scene with a quiet intensity, hands on hips, lips pursed, her bun of blonde hair pulled so tightly it was painful to look at. Her soldiers had thought her pedantic, especially when she had pulled 20 of them from morning drills a few weeks prior, handed them stencils of stars and cans of gold paint and told them to apply them to the cannons. But it was the details that made the attack successful. In the weeks leading up to the Festival of Fire, the city was bursting with activity, reapplying flame retardant to all the buildings and getting things ready for the Festival of Fire. Earlier this day, dancers and jugglers had walked the streets with fire. Cannons and fireworks exploded across the sky, and flame-roasted foods of every variety had provided the feast. Through the preparations, the general's soldiers had walked the streets in plain clothes, scouting weak points and learning the terrain. 20 years of peacetime could make some people weak, but the general had played the long game. She had smiled as she signed the peace accords and shaken hands with her enemies, who seemed relieved to have the game of war over. The general had once played the game of mother, but after her husband and 2 children became casualties, war became the only game she knew. So like a snake lying in wait, she had prepared her troops over the years, watching for an opportunity. She was older now, and it was likely to be one of the last times that she would work on the front lines, but the onslaught had been successful, and she couldn't have been prouder of her troops. The cannonballs had been special too. The shells were meant to look like fireworks as they exploded. They smashed the windows that now stood empty, and the setting sun shone eerily through the empty holes that had so recently been filled with light, but were now dark. In the end, all the pedantic measures the general had taken had made the plan work. The stars on the cannons had looked as if they were just part of the celebration. The cannonballs were made to look like fireworks as they exploded, meant that people in other parts of the city didn't realize there was an attack until far too late. Well, at least they got to be happy right before, one of her lieutenants said. Her lips curled into a snarl before she could help it, but she quickly smoothed it back into place. Did we get happiness when they murdered our families? No. This way is best. Perhaps you mean justice, he replied. She planted him with a withering glare for daring to correct her, then turned back to look out over the ruined city, smoke casting the sunset into a haze of blurred color. A cloud over the moon made it look as if the mouth were open, the word "what" poised on its lips. The general exhaled a long breath and turned to her lieutenant once more. Yes, this is justice. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like, you can get my book Savior, link in the description below, and I will hopefully have another one of these tomorrow. And so this actually I already know will not be will not make it to novelhood, because I've already decided to make not this piece exactly, but with thematic similarities incorporated into something that I'm already writing. So that's going to be the future status of that one. But if you like this video, please let me know, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.